So equally excited about Tony Sakosha from Vintage 423 finally in our kitchen. Tony, what are we making today, buddy?
We're making a green chili stew with duck confit.
Ooh,
yeah,
nice. Okay, so what are the ingredients? What do we use to make this dish?
Okay, we have our duck confit.
Okay.
We have russet potatoes. We've got garlic, fresh garlic, green chili, roasted green chili, cilantro, coriander, fresh oregano, onion, tomatoes, salt, pepper, and we have our duck stock fortified with a little bit of chicken stock.
Okay, so of course you know green chili stew huge here in New Mexico.
Absolutely.
Is this kind of taking an unusual twist to put the chicken and the duck?
Yeah, it kind of gives it more of a, it elevates it a little bit.
It
more
elevates
gourmet.
it?
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
aside from the duck itself, it's a very traditional recipe.
Okay.
The duck just kind of makes it a little bit more on the fine dining side.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, of course, Vintage 423. If you've never been out there, folks, they know fine dining. A beautiful establishment, which we are going to find out more about coming up later on in the show. But for now, we're going to head things over to Brittany. We have Tony Sakosha from Vintage 423 with us this morning, and you were putting a high-end twist on green chili stew.
Right.
Cool.
I am all about it. What are we doing, Tony?
Yeah,
right.
what's the first step?
First step is you get a nice hot pan. You got a little bit of oil in there.
Check.
Start off with my garlic.
Okay.
I keep the cloves whole.
Okay. Hey, where are you going?
Now, why do you keep them whole?
Just because it doesn't make any difference really if, if I chop them up
Okay.
Got
for
it.
what we're using it for.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we get our potatoes in there because we want those going right away.
Okay.
And our duck. The duck is the most important part because it's got the fat, it's got most of the flavor that's going to change the
Okay.
game on there.
And
Have
that's
you
been-
ever had duck and green chili stew before?
No, I haven't.
I haven't either.
That's
Sounds
the high-end
delicious.
part.
Absolutely.
That's the part where you wear the monocle.
Yes.
So is this pre-cooked? The duck is pre-cooked that you're putting in?
It's a duck confit, yeah. What I do with that is confit is where you cook it in its own fat at a very low temperature,
Okay.
similar to deep frying, but at a much lower temperature.
Much lower temperature.
It originated out of southwest France as a way of preserving food.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
when you when done traditionally, you can keep it up to several months or even years. Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I prefer confit because I like the flavor it brings out of the duck.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, great. So what happens after we put the duck in?
We get the duck, we got that working. We get our onions in there,
Okay.
Of course.
our tomatoes, our green chili, of course.
The must. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, the green
Try and get all
chili.
this working.
So you're cooking that in. Now you said you're going to get that pan pretty hot.
Yeah, hot enough
Okay.
to actually get things working.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
All right, we get our fresh cilantro right here,
Man.
and some fresh oregano.
Now, this is obviously something you can get at Vintage 423, right?
Yeah, it's something. Well, it'll be something that'll be featured intermittently.
Okay.
We actually do a soup of the day, which changes by the day or sometimes the week. Or if it's a big hit, we'll run it a little bit longer. You'll see
Okay.
this featured as a soup of the day.
Very
Okay.
cool. Okay.
Fantastic. Okay. So what happens after that? What do we?
We
put in there?
got some more coriander.
Coriander. Okay. And so what I'm noticing, I mean, obviously we're making the stew. You're putting in a lot of the, you're saving the broth for last.
Right.
It seems.
Yep.
Okay.
You want to
Okay.
get all the flavors from these ingredients working in the pan first.
Okay.
Kind of
Okay.
draw them
See,
out.
that's where I would make my mistake trying to do
Right.
soup.
Yeah. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't realize
Yeah.
that is an important part of making a soup. Is that
Okay.
you got to start bringing out those flavors and then you hit it with the broth.
Okay, and that's
then-
why you're getting it hot, is to really get those working and
Right.
mixing. Okay.
Correct.
Now, what
Okay.
else do you offer at Vintage 423?
We do new American cuisine. You'll find a little bit of everything. There's some regional flair there. There's also some really classic things, as well as little hints of Asian sauces with some of our appetizers, things like that.
Okay.
Pretty versatile menu.
And the decor is amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, it is
beautiful restaurant.
Gorgeous. That
Absolutely.
restaurant is one of the most gorgeous locations to
Definitely.
eat in Albuquerque, I think.
Absolutely.
Okay,
So then you
what's
pour
next?
the broth in? Is
Yeah,
that right?
a little bit of fresh cracked pepper here.
Of course.
All right, and then we have our, it's actually a chicken or duck stock, and I fortified it with a little bit of chicken stock because the duck
okay.
stock, I use about 4 legs, so I wasn't able to yield a whole ton of stock. But
Okay.
chicken stock is just as good as water.
Okay.
Cool.
And how much are you putting in there?
This is about 2 quarts.
About 2 quarts.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Okay. So then what happens after that? How long,
How
does
long does it
It's
take?
about an hour or so.
Okay.
Okay.
About a good hour. I mean,
Right.
depending on You don't want to have it at too high a heat, or you're just going to make a big mess out of everything. About
Okay.
medium heat for about an hour.
So once you put that stock in, you reduce the heat to about medium.
Right.
Is that right? Okay.
Right.
Okay, great.
And then it turns into this?
Yes, you let it keep going down. The potatoes start to break down, and they start
Okay.
to thicken everything up, and you get a finished product, which is a stew.
The
Wow.
stew, that's fantastic. Now, is this, like you said, the soup of the day? Is this the soup of the day? So if we head out to Vintage 423, what do we
We
have
actually
on our
will be
soup of the day?
featuring it this week. Right now we have a tomato basil soup.
Oh, that sounds good,
we'll
too.
be featuring this one after that
Okay,
one.
fantastic, Tony.
All
Thank you
right.
so much for coming. And guys, for more information on Vintage 423, head over to casa.com.